So welcome to another video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And so today is our October monthly debrief.
Why is it that every time you have to pause to think about what month that we're actually talking about?
Because it's always a month in arrears, and I always just want to say, it's November, even though it's not.
Well, did you realize this is like the 22nd video of these that we've made?
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
It's very cool.
We'll
I'm just going to always give you heck for that, because every time you're like, October!
Yeah, I'm like, it's not November.
And today is November the 4th, so we're getting it done pretty quick.
Yes, and I will hopefully have this up here in the next day or two, so you should be watching this fairly sharpish after recording. So October, the Halloween...
Sometimes your Englishisms get me. Sharpish. I'd never say that.
What?
You're an American now. Put that away.
It's true, I am.
Absolutely you are. You should be proud of that fact.
They gave me a piece of paper and everything.
They did. I witnessed it. I was there.
It was great.
It was really cool.
So, October, autumnal season.
My favorite time of the year.
Halloween.
Hands down.
October, November.
I love the fall. I love the leaves. I love the cooling weather. I love football. I love the start of college basketball and NBA basketball.
And wargaming.
And wargaming.
Which is something that we did some of this month.
We did. We did quite a bit.
Yeah, my kids were sick a lot this month.
And I think I had some band stuff with my daughter.
Yeah.
So we didn't play as much as I think we thought we would.
No, but in the end, we still played a decent amount of stuff.
As always.
Because we started early in the month as well. I think we played like the very 1st of October. We played a Most Fearful Sacrifice.
This game, hands down, I think was the most unique and interesting game that we've played this year. To me, absolutely.
It was very good.
I loved it.
This was, and this is a shame because my table is physically too small for the whole game. Because this is a game that deserves the whole hog.
It needs both maps out, all the counters. We just played a small scenario.
Yeah, so...
But it was awesome.
There's a video of some first impressions of this coming up, but, I mean, you'll see, I don't even know if you can tell in that video, I could barely fit one map on my table with all the ancillary stuff, let alone two. But it is huge, it is glorious, it is beautiful to play and look around with, and at some point we will have a bigger table and this will get played.
Well, and I think the reason I thought it was the most interesting and unique experience that we've had this year is I thought the activation system was just top notch.
Yes.
I loved that. I loved the way it worked, and I just thought it was great. I also really liked the card play. As gamey and un-wargame-like as that is, man, it was fun. It made for some fun. And then I loved the terrain. I loved the terrain and the way that when we set up, it was so cool to figure out as the Secesh, how was I going to get across that valley and get on you on the ridge? And you know what? It worked out. We had a great time doing it. We lost some men. We died here. We died there. I just loved it. I had a great time. And it's so beautiful. I mean, it's a Rick Barber map.
It's incredible.
God rest his soul. That's, I think, his final map. He probably has some other map somewhere that someone's yet to publish.
Yeah, because I think I asked, this is his final? I think someone has his final one.
Got it.
But there was a nice ode to him in it, a little obituary. It was really nice.
Wasn't it like a little flyer?
Yeah, with a picture of him, a portrait.
But that is a game that we have talked about. We need to play one more time. We did kind of an initial play to grok the rules, and then we did a first impression. But man, it was just so good.
It was very, very good.
It is going to be on my top 10 list, no doubt.
And as you well know, I'm not a big ACW guy. That game was incredible.
It was awesome.
Because as a game, it's also very, very good.
Yeah. Well, it's both strategic and gamey. It's got it all.
That's
a very rare combination. Because I feel like sometimes when you throw gaminess into a game, it just turns into a hullabaloo.
Yeah, some you have like, this is a game, or this is like...
This was, I thought, a good simulation with some gamey elements. I really enjoyed it.
You know who's really good at that? Herman Lutman.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. Game. Yeah.
Like, we say these kinds of things about almost everything that he touches.
You're absolutely right. I played some of his solo stuff. Love it. I absolutely love
I
it.
think
He's
about
amazing.
At Any Cost.
Oh my gosh.
That was I got similar feelings from that game, even though they're quite different.
Well, it's a similar time, right? The
Yeah,
Franco-Prussian
period,
War
it was
is kind of in the
it's
same
similar.
period, but
But
very different feel, very unique.
he's so good at balancing the game.
Yes.
And
Well, he'll always
and
tell
the
you
strategy.
his, what is it, 3 Fs or
Yeah.
friction, blah, 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 blah,
Fog
and fun.
yeah.
I mean, it's just like he wants you to enjoy it.
Wargaming should be
It should be an
enjoyable. It should be
enjoyable
fun.
experience. We don't sit around often and go, wargaming is fun. It's so fun.
I wish we did that more.
I wish we played more games that were like that were really frickin' fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry. I've just gushed. I went on and on about our
So
first
that game
game.
was really good.
It was awesome. And it was the first game of the month.
I know.
It really set a good tone. And actually, we played a lot of good games.
We had a
this month.
lot of good games. So I don't know if this was the order we played. But the next one
This
we got
was
here,
the last one we played.
Donnerschlag. That's not true. This was the last one, wasn't it?
You're right. This was 2 weeks ago.
Donnerschlag, incredible game.
I've thought of, just like you, I have thought about this game and thought about this game and thought about this game since we played it.
So this is
Fantastic.
an operational level game, and you are General von Hoth, and you are trying to link up with and help Sixth Army and von Pallas to break out of
Around
Stalingrad.
Stalingrad, yep.
Like, that's the game. But how you're doing it and the way that the game works, in a similar fashion to A Most Fearful Sacrifice, a great balance between game and like simulation and strategy.
Yep.
And I think like the games we played this month kind of all did that. Really like knocked some of that stuff out of the park. Great balance. I love the focus of the game. I'm starting to kind of understand that like I like operational games because the objectives are very focused, and you're like, here's my guys, here's your guys, do the thing.
Yeah.
And how you do that and what that looks like might turn out differently from game to game, but it's like you get a great feeling as a commander of this, but also you still get into the terrain and some of the tactical aspects between individual units.
The best part of this design, aside from the stuff that you've already mentioned, the card play is phenomenal. There are activation cards, and they're multi-use activation cards, meaning it's not always just one division or one corps or one whatever. I can't remember what the level is here, but anyway, some of them are multiple. Like I can activate this or that. And it's really amazing how you have to make those tough decisions based on the hand of 5. Isn't it 5 cards we got? Like the hand of 5 cards that you were drawn. You have to make some really tough decisions about what's my objective, where am I trying to go, and how am I going to use these cards to get myself there. And it was so fun. I played the Germans, and the entire right flank was nothing but Romanian infantry, right?
Yeah.
I
Very slow,
didn't do almost anything with them because they don't have the power. So my Panzer, I think my 12th Panzer and I want to say 13th or
23rd
15th,
Panzer was on the board.
I just had to they had to just become the anvil and just crush. It was just awesome. I just loved that game. I loved it. It was fun. It was an enjoyable experience.
A very good game. This was the first game from VUCA Simulations we've actually gotten to the table as well.
Well, no, that's not true. We played the Crisis of Frederick.
Great Crisis of Frederick II.
That game just did not speak to me in any way, shape, or form.
It was extremely long CDG that was point-to-point movement.
Well, I remember we played it, and we don't do this very often. I remember putting it in the box and saying, I'm never going to play that game again. It just didn't speak to me, right? The way. So anyway,
conversely,
this one really did.
Like, you should go out and buy this right now.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Like, you don't want to miss out on this. If this was to go OOP and never come back, you will have missed a very good game.
Well, and they also do amazing production. I mean,
yes,
you can see the art. It's beautiful. The color choice is awesome. The boxes. I mean, you could stand on that thing and it's not going anywhere.
It's freaking huge.
The map was mounted, beautiful. It was a completely white board, right? This is the middle of winter in Russia, but I've never seen a white board that was that pretty.
And
just phenomenal.
This one, I checked, is available on Noble Knight Games, who are sponsoring this monthly debrief, which I just remembered to do.
That's
so
terrible.
Thank you very much for sponsoring us. More from them later on. It's like I've never done this before. But yeah, that is, like, I looked, because I was like, oh, it is on there, it's available
Fantastic.
Do yourself a favor.
And we've got a couple of other games, one here before, and then we've got 1914 Knock Paris that looks fantastic. It's World War I.
Bismarck.
They are really pumping out some good games. So very interested in to see where VUCA Simulations goes.
Yes.
So what else did we? Oh, we played this. A little bit of an ACW kick.
Yes.
This is Brothers at War 1862 from Compass Games. Our friend Chris Muller, I mean, I call him our friend. We met him one time.
He doesn't get a choice about that.
WBC, really nice guy. Very talented guy as well.
Yes.
Designed this. This is a scenario-based, brigade-level Civil War game. And it's a game, right?
And it's a quad pack.
Yep. So there are 4 different battles with multiple scenarios. And multiple scenarios, I think, in every single one of them. We played Valverde, New Mexico. Never even heard of Valverde, New Mexico in a Civil War game. But we played one, and you know what? It was fantastic. Great use of cards. Everything hits on a 5 and a 6.
Yeah, you chuck a bunch of D6, 5s and 6s hit.
It's a dice masher.
And then you make saving throws.
Yep, which is always fun and unique. Very miniature-esque,
very,
right?
very, very miniature.
I just had a great time with it. We played it for 3 or 4 hours and really enjoyed it. I look forward to maybe playing some other scenarios in the future. And I know Chris is also working on the next iteration of this, which I think is focused on 1863. I'm not sure what battles, but I hope he does some more stuff because that's really top-notch.
Yes.
That came off a Kickstarter. We bought that copy. No, they actually gave this to us for review.
Yes, they did.
That was one they did. More often than not, we have to buy their games, but they gave us this one for review, and it was fantastic.
Did you play any other war games this month?
I played a couple. Yes, I did.
I played some non-war games.
Well, this is a war game, so I will. All right, Stilico. This is an old game. You might be going, Grant, you've already covered this one. Well, yeah, I already covered it, but I got a bee in my bonnet this month because I watched Rodney Smith and his exploring of this on Twitter, and it just made me hunger for the game again. So I got it out. I had never done a video. I had never done a video review or a playthrough, so I played it 3 times, got utterly obliterated the first try. I was done by the end of the first turn. The second one, I went all the way to the end but lost. And then in my playthrough, which I shot 90-minute playthrough, I lost near the very end. My head got cut off. So, great game, Stilico from Robert Dulesky and Hollandspiel. That's a war game. I played that this month.
That is a war game.
It is a war game.
I
I'm gonna
played
put that down there.
a number of non-war games.
Me too.
The first one was Heading Forward from Hollandspiel.
Not a war game.
No. And it was a very interesting experience because I would not play a game that was like this normally. Mm-hmm. This is very much, like the game Solitaire.
Yeah. It has that feeling. It's a solitaire
yes
game.
And no, but like it's a set card matching type game of what you're trying to do, and lots of icons are matching, but you're all doing it under like time constraints as you kind of go to physical therapy and try to like recover from this traumatic brain injury, which the designer of this game, this is like his
experienced
story.
this.
Yes.
Okay.
And so
John Dubois.
Yes. And so it's a very sympathetic game, which is kind of what I was hoping for, and it does that really well. But it was just a very interesting card experience and totally outside of my wheelhouse of the things that I would play. It was very interesting.
We bought this at WBC, I think, didn't we?
Yes. Well, I think
maybe they provided
this was a review copy provided from this, but it was one where I'm like, I'd seen people playing it, and I'm like, what, that's just fascinating as like a game.
Yeah.
Entirely.
And it's just cards, right? Isn't that pretty much all it is?
Yeah, like the components are like, they could be anything. Like,
okay.
They're like spoons and like some money counters.
Okay.
And that's like plays into a theory of like some stuff.
How to overcome some of these troubles.
and like it was really interesting. But yeah, totally outside of my normal wheelhouse again. That was interesting.
Okay.
I also played Mansions of Madness with a friend that came round. Mansions of Madness 2nd edition.
2-time and me again.
Yes. And then I also played the greatest game of all time.
Well, this could be anything.
It could be. but it is
Oh, it's pretty good.
giant killer robots.
Very
Heavy
good.
hitters. This is a very bombastic table miniatures game.
It's awesome.
Massive robots.
Fun.
Just blowing each other to hell. I love this game so much.
Each robot's unique. Each has their own powers and abilities.
And there's this like,
It's very
you
cool.
build your deck of the weapons you want to take into
Yep.
the battle, and then you just kind of slog it out, and it's great.
And there's buildings that you have to tag to get extra points. It's very fun.
Yeah, because it's this like weird post-apocalyptic thing where they're just megacorps, and like you're the history behind it is that you're like fighting to gain corporate rights for demolition of this wasteland.
Got it.
And so the more people that like you and like cheer you on, and you tag the buildings with those
You're
advertising
more
boards.
likely to get the contract.
Yeah, like no one cares about any of that. You're just robots beating each other up on a board, and it's great.
And this friend that you have, did he like it?
He loved it.
Did he pick it up pretty easily?
Reasonably enough.
Okay,
yeah.
I know he's not a hardcore gamer.
No,
but
he
plays
was,
games.
Like, we played Mansions of Madness, and he was like, that was cool. And we played Blood Rage, and he was like, oh, that was fascinating. And we played this one, and he was like, that was amazing.
Oh, so you've gotten with him 3 times now?
Yeah.
Wow, man, I'm starting to
So
feel a little pushed out.
That's
Is this now going to be, hi, I'm Alexander, and I'm blah, 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 maybe?
So that's all the gaming that I did.
Okay.
I think that's
In October.
Yeah.
I played one other game because it was very thematic for the season, right? So this is The Night. Ooh, I got some blood on the back of I think I cut myself that day. Or did a zombie bite me? Yeah, the zombie bit me. So this is The Night. This is not Night of the Living Dead. It's just The Night.
Yes.
With of the Living Dead cut off. Everything else is very reminiscent of that. The black and white, the actual names of the heroes are the same. I don't know how they did it. Maybe they paid for the license. I don't know.
You can't copyright the name George.
Okay, that's a good point. Or Ben.
I think those.
Yeah. Okay, or
so
Karen.
Generic, you could
that's probably a good point. Solitaire game. It's a zombie survival game. You're literally those 6 or 7 characters that appeared in the film, and you are trying to hole up in the house, keeping the zombies out, boarding it up, locking doors, shooting them in the head, beating them with baseball bats, and trying not to get killed. And it's a blast. I had a great time with it. Played it 5 or 6 times. I shot a full playthrough that showed on the YouTube channel on Halloween.
Yes.
That was very cool. It's done very well. I think it's got like 1,400 views so far. And I have a full review coming, I think, in January, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's close to that.
Several months out. But a great little game, White Dog Games. I really enjoy their games. I don't know if I just have a soft place in my heart. This is a game I bought because I just love their games. I just think they're fun. They have a lot of great little solo games. So, The Night of the Living Dead. The Night. The Night. Fun game.
So is that everything that we played? That was ended up being a decent amount.
Yeah, I mean,
But some of
for
those
not
were
getting together.
Pretty
a couple of
beefy
times.
war games in there. I feel pretty good about some of those
Yeah,
things that we
absolutely.
played. I had a very enjoyable time with everything that we played this month.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Well, and I also thought this month we had a lot of, we did a lot of things that won't show up necessarily immediately, but we did some good things for the blog.
Yes.
So,
there are lots of cool content coming up.
yeah. Anyway,
So, what are we looking for in November? That's the big question.
well,
Because
I've got a stack of games here that I think we're going to play.
did I put all the other games down?
Let's do the
No,
games
you got them all. You got them all.
Let's
Okay.
do the games that we're individually going to play first.
Sure.
Right? So I'm going to play, I think I've said this, that I was going to play this before. This is by that guy that we talked about earlier. What's his name?
Herman
Luttman. This is his newest game with White Dog Games called Vultures Lead the Way. This is a sci-fi solitaire game based on the system that was used in it Magnificent Style.
Okay.
The American Civil War game with Pickett's charge.
Okay.
So it's similar concept, obviously a different implementation because you're, I think, on the moon or Mars or something. Yeah. But it looks really cool. I've looked through the rules and the counters, very interested in playing it, but it's a push your luck, advance on positions type game. So not really a war game, but it definitely looks cool. I mean, isn't that a great little...
It looks like it'll be fun.
So Battles of the 324th Volter Regiment. I mean, that's great. So very excited about Volters Lead the Way. I'm going to play that on my own.
I think at some point I'm going to play this solo.
Okay.
And this is more of, we played Donnerschlag, it was amazing. We have this, and they have a couple other games in this system. So this is Operation Theseus. This uses the same system that was in Crossing the Line,
Aachen,
1945, and I think it's the same one as the Bug River, I think.
Yeah, Crossing the Bug River.
I think it's
which we don't have.
No, these are a bit more like of a regular Hex and Camera war game. As in, it's not a CDG or anything like that.
Right,
is what I'm saying. So, and it's just one where we're getting to the end of the year. Not a lot of games to play.
Yeah, we actually identified, I think it was 17 games that we still need to play, and then actually I just got like 3 new ones today.
Yeah, and we know there's a lot more on the way.
We're
So
never gonna play them all. But
this is one I'll probably set up because it's one that is soloable, and it will also learn the system that we can parlay into some of the other titles that will come out from this company or that we already have as well.
So this is basically Gazala in like 42, right?
Yes, and so there's all the Allied defenders in and around Tobruk and all the minefields, and then the Germans have to get there.
Who's the designer? I can't remember.
That
it's not
is
Patrick Gebhardt.
It is.
It's a very German-sounding name.
D. Blenneman.
There you go.
I don't know what the D stands
Dirk
for.
Blenneman, I believe.
Dick Blenneman. Yeah. Okay.
So,
it doesn't get more German than that.
Yeah. But yeah, that looks really good. I've looked through that. We've had that for a couple of months, and I hope you have a good report of it.
Yes.
And if it's really that good, I would love to play it as well.
I've got frankly high hopes for it.
Okay.
If I'm honest with myself.
I've got high hopes. He's got. Okay. You get a little bit of everything in this. It's like the variety hour.
Oh, that's true. I'm going to juggle
here. A little bit of comedy,
a
a little bit of dancing, a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of BS. All right. Siege of Mantua.
Yes, Siege of Mantua. So this is a Napoleonics game from Hollenspiel.
Amabel, right?
Yes, designed by Amabel, and big block war game. And by big block war game, I mean the blocks are big.
Funny story about this game. This game came about because Amabel had stacked in her bedroom boxes and boxes and boxes of these big, like 2-inch blocks, right?
Like, these are massive.
They're huge. They're massive. For the game that you may not have heard about, because I don't believe many people bought it, designed by Mark Herman, called Rivet. And this is not in any way, shape, or form hacking on Herman or Amabel or Hollenspiel. It just didn't work, right?
Yeah.
They always say, we take it...
He wanted to design a kids game about frogs, and they said absolutely.
Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work out. So they had thousands of these. I think Amabel said, "How in the hell am I going to get rid of those?"
Because famously, she doesn't like block war.
Right. So she decided, I'm going to design this game and use those blocks. So the cool thing about those blocks is they're screen printed. Yeah, they're not stickers.
That is like printed on there. It's not a sticker that you have to apply, and they are beautiful. And the map is great looking, kind of like this little period piece.
Well, and I think the interesting thing about this game is it's really about evasion and maneuver. I think it's about trying to get away from combat until you actually should go to combat.
And if you look at the map is point to points, and it is not very big. And so doing that's going to be very interesting. I'm very curious of what this is.
So we definitely want to play. I have an interview on the blog with Amabel about this one if you're interested, but... definitely one that I think we want to play. For the second month in a row, we have said we're going to play Flashpoint South China Sea.
It'll happen.
GMT Games.
It'll happen.
Harold Buchanan, we're sorry, Harold. We love you. We like this game. We just have been so busy.
This is the third month in a row.
Is it the third? That's embarrassing. So we'll get it played, but this is a 1-hour card-driven game. We've played it at Gen Con. 30 to 45 minutes. And I know it's changed a lot, so I'm really looking forward to playing it and see what changed about it.
And this is from GMT1 because it has their solo. There's like a solo mod in there as well.
Yeah, so if we don't get to it, I may have to just play it solo.
We'll get to it
by myself.
We'll get to it.
All right, here, you can talk about this one.
Next up, we have A Victory Awaits. This is a big game.
East Front war game.
Big 3-mapper, 1941 Operation Barbarossa.
We will not be playing 3 maps, though.
I physically can't fit it on the table. So we'll probably play 1 map,
It's already clipped.
Yes, I already punched and clipped this. It was a lot of counters.
Yeah.
I think it was like 840 counters.
Oh, geez.
But we'll only use a third of them, so that's it's not that bad. And that's what my understanding is. It's actually not a ton of counters like stacks, because you spread out over the 3 maps. It's a very reasonable amount of counters.
I'm looking forward to it. We love, and this is not in any of their systems, meaning it's not SCS, it's not OCS, it's not BCS. No. It's kind of its own system that's had 2 or 3 games before it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've named it a 3-letter code name.
It was colloquially referred to as the Red Box series.
And this is
and then they
decidedly not red.
You're like, okay, I guess, thanks. But I've seen people with the 3 map setup playing at 6-player at their Wargame Club.
Oh, wow.
And I could not have been more jealous. It looked just mouth-wateringly good.
Yeah.
So I very much want to play this one.
So I think we're going to play this one next weekend.
I'm very excited for that.
Get ready for that. Awesome. All right, another game, and this is actually a prototype version of a pre-order game that just actually came out, and you can buy it. Okay. So this is Wars of Religion, France, 1562 to 1598. This is designed by, I'm trying to remember the name, Jerome Lefranc. And this is Fellowship of Simulation. So, what's that game? The World War I game that everybody talks about right there.
Oh,
Verdun, 1916, Steel Inferno. Same company.
Okay.
This is a 3-player card-driven game on the Wars of Religion in France during that time period. Really looking forward to this. I looked the rules over. Does not look complex. I think we're going to be able to get this pretty quick, and we're going to play this with Mike.
Yes.
At my house here in about 2 weeks.
It looks beautiful.
Oh, it
even as a prototype.
And it's it's basically the Huguenots versus the Catholics, and I mean it's just going to be really cool. Really looking forward to it, and it's a really nice looking game. So, Wars of Religion. Really looking forward to that. I think the final game that we've committed to playing
is Almoravid from GMT Games. This one's been out a little bit.
Yeah, it came out like in
We've just been
March,
sitting on
April.
it. So we played.
Well, we didn't get it. Actually, they shipped it all together.
Oh, with a bunch of
so
other stuff.
it was delayed until early summer.
But it's part of the Levian Campaign series.
Volume 2, which now has 35 volumes in design and development.
Yeah. So, yeah, everyone's got a coin game. Everyone's got a Levian Campaign game.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great system.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it's a testament to Volko as a designer. That
he's amazing.
Everyone can grasp the system and how it works and then use it.
Yep.
I just think that's great.
Find a historical happening that fits the system.
So yeah, I'm very excited to play this. We played Nevsky that one time.
I'm not sure we really got so into it and understood everything about it.
I didn't understand the strategy of the thing, of what I was supposed to be doing.
That's our life.
We were just kind of pushing the buttons and pulling the levers and seeing what happened.
And had a great time with it.
Yes.
Really enjoyed Nevsky.
I want to, with that prior knowledge, get a fresh look at something and give this a go. And who's ever played a game on this topic as well? This will be a piece of learning for me, at least.
I played a solo game
from
White Dog Games.
I have not.
Yeah, looks good. And the map's huge. Nevsky, if you remember, was kind of small.
Yeah, it was a little
This one's like a more regular size, so there's a little more area.
More pieces. Yeah, a lot more spaces.
But it's organized. I've put everything together. The counters are clipped that need to be clipped. Most of them were pre-rounded, but there were some that weren't. The Ravage markers, I think.
The little markers they all
so it's all ready to go. We'll try to play that this month.
So I think that's everything that we...
Yeah, if we do all that...
that would be amazing.
It would be a great month.
The first time ever that we'd played everything that we'd said we were going to as well.
That's true. But I think it's doable. One of those games we're playing in the middle of the week with a friend.
Yep.
We also have Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah, and I've got some extra days off. I think you might do
I'm taking off the day before Thanksgiving. We'll be off on Friday and Saturday. There is no reason that we shouldn't be able to play at least 2 days that week, maybe.
Yeah.
And then our normal every weekend. So we're going to have 5 or 6 opportunities to play.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Gonna get it.
So, real quick, before we jump into kind of Kickstarter pre-order type things, the MMP sale, I just got my big shipment of that. So we just wanted to.
How many World War I games did you buy?
Not a single one.
Okay, good. I just was checking.
Yes. So
Because remember that happened last year.
we're all fallible. So this is our stack of games from the sale. So
By the way, I own Front Toward Enemy.
yes, and I know that we
played it.
It was $30.
Yeah, and it's a good deal of game.
And I wanted to
Tactical Vietnam.
just play around with it on my table as well, just to really, I don't know.
One, we did not do a video because
No.
we weren't confident in it.
But I think about it all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
And it's one where I'm like, I just need to set it up and to like do it, and then we'll get back to it and it'll be amazing. I'm confident that that'll be the case.
Agreed.
So that's Front Towards Enemy.
Really good chaps that designed that. Joe Chacon.
Oh yes.
And who's the other guy?
It was developer Nick Richardson.
Okay. I can't remember who else I was thinking about. But anyway.
So the other ones we have. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. Kawaguchi's Gamble, Edson's Ridge.
This is the famous machine gun in the Pacific.
Okay.
Joe, what's his name?
Yeah.
The sergeant that ended up dying at Iwo Jima.
And
he was the one that gunned him down with the machine gun all night and
Yes.
then put it up on his arm and burned the hell
his
out of
arm.
himself. I'm pretty sure that's it. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Because it's, I think you're right.
And if you
as
haven't
well.
seen the Pacific in that episode, it's utterly fantastic.
And it's like episode 2.
Well, and it's also very depressing as well.
It's yeah.
Because you realize a couple of things, but it's like many war movies or events. People's lives are thrown away for no reason.
Very cheaply.
And it's
sad.
sad.
And they're barely kids, most of them.
Yeah, right.
But this is an what do they call it? Like
Area
an area move,
impulse or
area
something.
impulse type game. I frankly had never heard of it.
Well, I looked at it on the sale. I actually looked at this one, and the Japanese one. So I was looking at them too.
But like these are not ones that I'd known about. This one. This one I don't know if I'd ever heard of.
I don't
before
think
the
I had
sale.
either, yeah.
And I just scoured the sale and was like, sure, I like
20
area impulse games. It
Yeah.
was like
2015.
$12 or $15, and
Yeah,
you know,
I like the art.
Yeah, for $12, you almost can't go wrong.
No.
So it's one of those ones where we'll give it a go at some point, and worst comes to worst, these are really easy to solo. The system is very amenable to those kinds of things as well. So that was that one. So then the other one we have is Monty's Gamble Market Garden. Similar type of
Monty's
thing.
huge mistake. It should have been called.
They didn't commit enough. Not enough bridges.
They needed 6 bridges rather than just 3.
It was like $15.
Yeah. Area move
Hard
game.
to go wrong. Another area move game.
Who's the designer on this one? Is it the same guy?
This is
Mike
Mike
Ranella.
Ranella, right.
We've played a lot of Mike Ranella's games.
And I think I watched Jeff Schulte playing this at WBC.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, that looks cool. I think it was this one. It was a... And I don't know. It just looks cool.
Sure.
And again, it was well priced, so
15
why not?
bucks, yeah.
A Most Dangerous Time. I have no idea what this game is about.
Yeah.
I know nothing about it. And I just saw it, and it was like
Well-
$12, and I thought, you'd probably like it.
Well, it's the Sengoku Jidai.
And I would like that.
Yeah.
But, like, this is a total gamble. I know nothing about this.
Tetsuya Nakamura is the designer.
Right.
Yeah, it looks really good. Point-to-point movement. Use some cards, counters. Absolutely.
Like, I don't know.
A Most Dangerous Time.
What's the worst that
amazing.
could happen?
Yeah.
Right?
Whoa.
I also bought Autumn for Barbarossa.
This is a travesty.
It was in a
Bag.
bag. I just took
This
it out of
should
the
have been in
bag
a box.
to look through it, though. But SCS, effectively a one-mapper. It's 2 small maps put together, make it a one-mapper. A couple counter sheets. Love SCS.
I've heard a lot about Autumn for Barbarossa.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's like straight up. The system is so easy. If you've never played a Hex Encounter war game before,
Easy to pick up.
yeah, pick up any old SCS game that tickles your fancy. It'll be good. And then, because we bought so many games, they included Warriors of Japan Bagged Edition free as well. So
Yeah.
I have Warriors of God on the shelf.
Yeah, it's the same system.
Same system. And
Isn't that the same system that the Siege of Jerusalem one that's coming up? Isn't that the same system?
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe
I
it's
don't.
different.
I don't know.
Okay,
though.
that's fine.
But
Looks
and
good.
I think people are like, oh, this one's really good.
Okay.
So I'm not sure because we haven't played either of them. But
Yeah, so
hey,
this is like 200 years before
yeah.
that. Yeah, it looks amazing. I mean, it looks simple and... So let me get this straight. You literally just bought 6 games.
1, 2, 3. No, I bought 5 games and they gave us one free.
Well,
that's very different.
You acquired 6 games.
Yeah, that's true.
Do I need to take away your credit card?
No, please don't.
Do I need to put a limit on you? I mean, wow. Don't we have enough? No.
I don't even know how to respond to
I know,
that.
it's hard to
Because the answer to
respond.
that question is yes.
Yes,
but
I
the
want
real
more
answer
war
to that
games.
question is
I want more war
no.
games. I want more war games. Yeah. It's an
yeah,
addiction.
We're just as fallible as you guys.
We're idiots.
Yeah, morons.
I'm glad I didn't buy those 6, but I'll be honest, I had 2 or 3 of those in my cart,
But like,
and I decided, nope, not going to buy them.
but we're gonna play them.
Oh,
they're
someday.
gonna be great.
Someday.
Yeah.
When I retire, and you retire,
We're all saying that.
and I'm totally blind. And,
Oh.
yeah.
So yeah, that was just know that we all press that big red button and buy all the games.
Well, and their sale is every fall.
Yes.
Right? It's around Thanksgiving time, typically. We have bought games from that sale.
Isn't that where we got Angola last year?
Oh, yeah. We got Angola.
Incredible
we got
game.
King Philip's War that we also need to play. We got a couple. We got 3 or 4.
I think we bought Breakthrough Cambrai as well, which is a World War I game.
I think of all of them, we've only played one that we purchased, but we'll get there someday. I've clipped King Philip's War, and I really want to play it. But
Yeah.
I just don't have the time.
Yeah, I bought a lot of SES games. Anytime there's an SES on sale, I'm like, I kind of
Snatch
just like
it up.
always put it on there.
But my favorite part was I have front towards enemy.
But I knew that. I knew
Did
that.
you?
But
Did you?
But we needed.
No, be honest.
Yeah.
You actually
played
knew
it.
that?
Yeah.
Come on, Alexander.
No.
You didn't know.
No, because we.
All right.
We got it at the WBC where it
We
was
did.
first released.
2 years, 3 years ago.
It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
And then we played it.
We played it weeks later and really enjoyed it, but didn't feel like we grokked it very well.
Yeah. So I wanted my own copy so I could grow
Okay.
twice as good because we got twice as many copies.
we could actually combine them and have huge battles.
Right? Like, who knows what we could do with this?
All right. Kickstarters.
So, Kickstarters.
You have the list of Kickstarters?
I have a list of some
Hey,
of the Kickstarters.
I would say to you, if you're really interested in what new games are upcoming and out and have been offered, I do a War Game Watch feature the first of every month.
And it
on
is
the
very
blog.
thorough.
I think this month had 22 games on it. So check it out, because Alexander just pulled it up, read all those off of it, and we're going to talk about them.
And I have
check it
some
out.
of the highlights because they don't all fit on a post-it
Yeah.
note. So, on Kickstarter currently, right now, as you're watching this is released, Compass Games has Carrier Battles, the Philippine Sea, which that's like got 7 days left today as of recording.
So not very long.
No, but it was. I don't think it was a very. They don't do like the big 60-day campaigns, right?
Right.
They don't.
They don't.
Worthington has Cruel Necessity, which is their English Civil War States of Siege game, and it's of their new deluxe edition. I have the old edition. It's really good. Mm-hmm. Impossible to win.
Yeah.
Which is exactly how you want it.
I did an interview with John on the blog. It's on the blog if you want to read it. But he said, yeah, it's very hard to win. Because designed it that way.
Yes.
He goes, if you win, you've done a great job.
Yeah, that old map in the old game was I'm pretty sure it was a Rick Barber map.
Oh, okay.
Although you could tell from his writing and the color style, but the colors are very different. This keeps the same color palette.
Yeah,
but obviously
looks better.
Well, it looks different. But
More
it's
modern, yeah.
But I saw it and was like, oh,
Yeah.
it looks just like the old map.
Okay.
kind of, with the color scheme at
There's
least.
some similarities there. is
Yeah,
what
for
you're saying.
sure. I felt very familiar with it.
Yeah.
A Most Fearful Sacrifice Second Edition.
Yep. We
from
just
Flying Pig
gushed
Games.
about that thing
Right.
for 10 minutes.
So if you missed it,
Get in
like,
on it.
You
It's worth it.
go get in on that. That is,
And
well worth it.
I would say there is an update pack for those who already have the game, and they include readable sized font for the player aids And yeah,
That was
ungodly small writing. It's unreal.
that was the only problem with
Oh
that
my
game.
gosh.
It was like,
Well, and I can't
what
read
is
close
this, a
up.
Plague Aid for ants?
Yeah.
It was awful. Like,
It
the
needs to
Plague
be
Aids
at
are this
least
big.
two
and
times this size.
It's like,
Yeah. It's a center for ants. Yeah.
just,
But yeah, it has an upgrade pack option where
Yeah.
you don't have to buy the game. You can just buy the upgrade stuff.
they were just like, hey, you know what would be good for all these old wargamers?
Let's make it really small.
6-point font.
It kills me. And that is something you're not there yet. You know,
Not
you're
yet.
34
I will be in 2
in a
weeks,
month
yeah.
or a week, 2 weeks. The last 6 or 8 months, my eyes have started close up. And I never thought it would happen. I honestly never thought it would happen. But now I'm pissed every time we open one of these frickin' games. And I'm like, who in the hell are you selling this to? You're selling it to 50 and 60-year-old dudes who can't see. Please make it bigger.
At least they've got
Anyway.
an upgrade pack for it now.
Even Donnerschlag, that game we also gushed about.
That's quite
Those
small
freaking text on those counters and the board, extremely tiny.
Yeah.
Anyway, rant over. Old man, get off my lawn. Old man, rant over.
I think the last thing I've got on here is Trench Club Legacy, which
Yeah.
I know nothing about.
It's a World War I game.
That's where it's over.
The
for me. I don't know
initial
anymore.
Kickstarter was a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And it was called Trench Club. And Trench Club literally is the trench club that someone would take into a trench as a melee weapon. This one is called Legacy. So there's a series of scenarios that change and modify the map and the board that you play on.
With like stickers and stuff.
Stickers and fortifications and things get destroyed. Looks really interesting. I almost backed it. But we'll see. The other one that we didn't talk about was from Dissimula Edizioni, Sergio Schiavi, called When the Americans Come, 1943 to 1945. It's not doing that well on Kickstarter. It's a very introductory level war game on the Italian campaign during World War II. That's another one. And then another new one I found out about today. Sorry. I just remembered about this.
Yeah, I saw this.
Glory and Empire First Victories. It's Wellington versus Napoleon. And it's a new game, going to Game Found from Lock and Load Publishing.
Based on this, I would imagine it's the Peninsula War.
Yes,
in the
it is.
Napoleonics?
It is.
Okay.
And the designer is Terry. Where is his name? Terry something. Sorry. I'm going to do an interview with Terry Doherty, or Doherty, Doherty. I'm going to do an interview with him. It comes out on Game Found in a couple of weeks, like the 15th of November. So anyway, check it out. Looks really good.
Yes.
Art looks fantastic. Gameplay looks very interesting. So yeah, lots of Kickstarters out right now.
And then the game from Cadet Games just fulfilled off of Kickstarter,
Yeah.
is that correct?
Yep.
Which was it called?
Way 72, the Easter Offensive. And it's Axis and Allies style plastic minis on a hex board with cards. And little plastic helicopters and howitzers.
Is it the same ones from the previous game?
Yeah, but now they have a B-17 huge bomber. Or B-52, I'm sorry. B-52 bomber. The miniature's huge. It's awesome. They have little planes. It's really
That's cool. That's
really
cool.
looking forward to that, but it focuses on Hue in northern Vietnam during 72. So just got it today. I mean, it just showed up today, and I opened it when I got home from my conference. So we're going to play that one by the end of the year, no doubt.
So I think it's probably not, but that's the stuff on Kickstarter that I could both remember and that
seemed interesting.
Definitely out there right now.
Yeah. But there's more. Check out the War Game Watch feature on the blog. You can see all of them.
Because that's got a whole bunch of other pre-orders.
It's got pre-orders. It's got new
stuff.
release copies. It's
very,
something
very
I do
good.
every month as a service to try to help publishers get the word out, but also help you as the viewers and the readers understand what's out there.
And yeah, all in one centralized location.
Yep.
It's really, really good.
And it gets anywhere from 1,500 to 2,500 views.
So
a
someone's
month.
reading it.
Someone's reading it.
So that's everything on Kickstarter. Before we get into kind of the topic of this month's discussion, just a quick word from our sponsor, Noble Knight Games. We really appreciate them and their support of us and support of hobbyists in the wargaming world.
And they gave us a $50 gift card to give away as part of our blog celebration for our 2000th post. So we provided that to the lucky winner, and really appreciate that. So thanks, Jess. Thanks, Dan. We appreciate what Noble Knight does. And I hope that we provide some benefit to them. But yeah, they're a great company.
Yeah, it's easy for me to find myself on their website looking at games that we definitely don't need, but want.
Yeah.
So,
very true.
Yes, and I've got a big old stack of games I need to ship off to them as well. Because they have like a buying service, like you got a bunch of games, you can just send them to them and they'll give you store credit for them. And it's very
neat system.
Seamless process. They're very, very good at it.
Many of us have games that will never see the light of day. They're sitting on our shelves and we all tell ourselves the great lie, we'll play it one day.
Oh, we're going to retire and we'll still have use of our eyes.
So if you're not going to play it, you can get, $15, $20 store credit. They're going to give you more store credit than they will cash, but you can also get cash.
And it's not unreasonable.
Yeah, but a great service, I think, that I wish other publishers or
but yeah, they do a great job with it. So again, big thanks to them for sponsoring this video.
Yeah.
So the topic of today's video. Normally, I pull these from a post that we put on our Patreon account. And our patrons, which we're very grateful for, suggest topics. And there was a bunch of topics that were suggested and some things that were talked about. But sometimes this is our show.
Well, and I think most of the ones that were recommended were great topics.
Yes.
But they're going to require a lot more in-depth analysis and review, and I'm not ready for that right now.
For example, there was a topic about, like, what out-of-print games do you wish were back in print? And I'm like... Well, I know like one or two that I know about.
To do some research.
But yeah, so that might be something that we like
do in
the future as we look into things. But yeah, I don't want to just like blow that on like the one and he was like, oh, like Napoleon's Triumph, which I definitely is like the one that I thought of.
Yeah.
Or Where There Is Discord. I'm like, well, I don't care because I have that on my shelf. So
yeah,
but I want to be able to do justice to that kind of a topic.
Yeah. We want to put some time into it, but a good way to find those games is to go to Noble Knight Games. Right?
Yeah,
that's another plug for them.
If anyone's going to have them, it's them.
It's going to be them.
They do a lot of that OOP stuff.
Yep.
So today
we chose our own topic. Sorry, patron supporters,
but
Patreon supporters.
Today we're going to talk about war films.
Ooh,
We're keeping it light today.
Yeah.
Because we love war films.
Oh my gosh.
We know you love war films, and it's just a fascinating topic. Because much like wargaming, your war films, so much of it is down to taste.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could love a thing, you could totally hate it. Or we could both think, oh, that was average. Like, and much like wargaming also, there's so many war films out there, it's hard to watch them all. So there's stuff that, like, I've never even heard of. Or, like, I've heard of, I'm like, I've never watched that. And people are like, how have you never watched that? But, people say that you've never played World at War. All right. Like,
yeah, right. Well, and I think it's interesting because All Quiet on the Western Front came out a couple of weeks ago on Netflix. I think it's been about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it came out.
Maybe the end of October. Anyway, I watched it.
Yes.
I had some time a couple of Saturdays ago. I was blown away. It was very long. I mean, it's
almost 3 hours, I've heard.
2 hours, 40 minutes. But it's pretty good, and there was a part in the beginning that I want you to watch. You haven't seen it yet.
Yes, we'll probably
because
go watch
it really,
this after this.
It really got me. Like, it really hit me. And I made the comment earlier, sometimes we realize that, war is not the best thing.
No.
Right?
It's the worst.
But sometimes wars are fought for good reasons.
Yeah.
Meaning trying to put tyranny down and, all that stuff. But there's a lot of bad stuff to it. And it just... Watching that All Quiet on the Western Front, the remake, just really kind of kicked me right in the heart cockle.
Yes.
And made me think about that. So I've thought about a lot of the war movies that I've enjoyed over the years, found interesting, learned from, and some of them came from my father.
Oh, I would say a lot of mine came from
Right.
that way.
My dad was born in 1934, so he was a young teenager when World War II was ongoing, didn't obviously fight in it, but he went through all the stuff, and I'm telling you, I remember as a kid him watching, like on Veterans Day, you know, he'd have like Tora 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 on, or
Which is incredible. By the
it's
way.
incredible, or Midway, or I mean any number of movies, and more often than not, I sat down and I started to love those movies as well. And my tastes have changed a little bit because there's some more modern movies that I found really interesting, but I still love those classics. And we'll talk a little bit.
Yeah.
This is not a ranking
No.
by any means, but
To me, it would be very difficult to rank a lot of the war films because there is a lot that I really love for totally different reasons, and comparing those would be like almost apples to oranges
Sure.
of like what makes something good.
well, and some of the ones that I really like that I didn't even include on my list tonight, the like for instance, The Bridge at Remagen. Have you ever seen that one?
I have.
I don't know what it is about that movie. I love it.
Yeah.
I literally love that movie. And I have watched that dozens of times, but I can't even tell you what I like about it. But it's just great.
Yeah.
So that's an example. There's some other movies that, I mean, I mentioned Tora Tora Tora. It's just dope. I mean, it's just...
That film was just very good.
And I have that on...
Everything about that movie is just really good.
And I have that on Blu-ray. I've watched it dozens of times, but I don't know. Just it's fascinating how some of them speak to me and then some speak to you.
Yes.
We have some crossover, but some of the ones you've mentioned, I'm like, yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, that's not my favorite. You know?
Like, there's no... The nice thing about like this is that, and I guess that's the same with everything, there's no real right or wrong answers when
No.
it comes to taste.
No.
Right? So, here's what you're going to do. Before we get started, pause this film and write a comment about your favorite films.
Yeah.
And that way you can see if they match up with any of the things that we're
Yeah,
going to say.
that's a good
That might
idea.
be a fun exercise.
Maybe write your top 2 or 3. Just but right off the top of your head, try to figure out what ones you really like, and we'll kind of go through ours. So
Yes. So, I'm going to jump right in.
yeah,
One of my favorite all-time films, period, let alone just war films,
Mm-hmm.
is The Battle of Britain.
a great movie. Michael Caine is phenomenal. Michael
Yes,
Caine, right?
yes.
I just love him in that movie.
I love that film.
Mm-hmm.
I love the soundtrack to it. I love the cinematography in that film.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I love the theme of the film as well. It speaks to me as an English person.
And that one I think speaks to you more because that was specifically about the defense of your island.
Yeah.
Right?
And
to me, it's a cool part of World War II,
Yes.
but not one that I'm more drawn to Omaha Beach and Utah Beach
Right.
and, you know, those kind of things. So it's
Like,
interesting.
when I go downtown to Southampton, where I grew up, and everything is like horrible 50s and 60s brutalist architecture, that's because the whole port was bombed out during
Yeah.
the war.
Yeah.
And they had to build
all
it
they
back
had.
up real quick. And it's disgusting.
And they didn't have much money.
So like the
to make it
consequences
right.
of this battle are still like pretty evident all across the the south of England. Norwich was totally destroyed, and the city that you see today exists only as a result of this.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it, but I just think the lines of dialogue, some of the pithy one-liners, the scene where it's the Polish 303 squadron and they're all talking in Polish.
Yep, so cool.
And the rest, and the instructor's like, "Shut up!"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But it just is one. That's a film. If it's on, I'll never turn it off ever.
The other thing I love about those kind of movies specifically, because the Battle of Britain was kind of a desperate thing, right? The mighty Luftwaffe were coming across that channel, and it was not looking good. And you watch that movie; it's pretty desperate.
Yep.
They keep losing pilots, and they keep losing antennas, and they keep, you know, and they're really, really struggling. And you always ask yourself, what had happened if they'd failed?
Well, yeah.
Would they have controlled the skies? Then Operation Sea Lion would have been next,
And
and
then-
all of a sudden Britain's out of the war.
Yeah, or even if they're not, the losses would have been terrible.
Yeah.
It would have been, who knows,
Yeah,
right?
That's why I enjoy learning and thinking about those historical happenings, because there's always something really bad that could have come out of that was stopped by heroic actions. And anyway, yeah, great movie. And I've got that one as well.
And like all good war films, at the end of it, you get like the roll of the honored and like all the people who like flew and people who died, and you just see all the members of the Commonwealth and the Allied forces, and that it was this massive multinational effort. And it's that part of it is very cool, but you know, just I think his name was like Ron Godwin. His soundtrack is incredible, and it was made relatively soon after the war, so the Flying Real Hurricanes and Spitfires.
We're still around.
And who doesn't want to see World War II planes flying around? I could watch that all day.
Well, that's one of the reasons I love the movie Dunkirk. Now, I didn't add that on my list, but hearing that engine,
the Merlin engine is unlike anything else.
And to hear that as Tom, what's his face?
Hardy
flies that thing, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, great movie. Definitely a great movie.
Love it.
One of the first ones I'll talk about, and my father watched this one over and over and over again.
Me too.
And it had, I think, every famous actor of the period.
I mean, they went all out on the cast.
Everyone. A Bridge Too Far. It is by far, I think, my favorite World War II movie. I love it. I will watch it, and it is so long, but it's amazing.
It is so eminently watchable.
Oh, no doubt.
Every scene in it, something interesting is happening. It's incredible.
I love the initial assaults on the bridges. I love when they try to get over the river and the rubber boats. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's awesome. I mean, I love the Polish guys as they're talking and just so cool. And Sir Anthony Hopkins.
And it's like some of the acting's incredible in it, and like the action's great.
Yeah.
But you also get like the really, really quite terrible replica German vehicles.
Sure.
That are like just cobbled together with these like post-war vehicles, and they're just like awful looking.
Yeah.
But you don't care. Those are a hallmark of the period.
Soundtrack on that one is amazing as
So
well.
good.
I will watch that one almost every year. I've got that on Blu-ray, and every year I will watch it without fail.
Love that film.
Yeah, great movie.
A classic. Easily.
Yeah.
Another film I wanted to talk about is Lawrence of Arabia, a World War I film. I love this film. One of the most... it's, again, an iconic soundtrack. Love the cinematography in it. Love the theme of the thing as well. Think it's fascinating. Insanely long.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so long. And it's the film that my wife tells people is my favorite film because she knows that I'd want it to be something pretentious sounding. Because it's both like this biographical, like a biopic, but also kind of a war film, but like not really, because it's like this counterinsurgency
I was surprised
thing.
When you mentioned it, and I've seen it, and I think, yes, it's a good movie. So I just don't love it.
And I would never hold that against anyone. I totally understand.
That's your people, right? And
to an extent,
once again, in the Middle East,
it's just so... I just think the movie is so fascinating, and the characters in it are so interesting.
Yeah.
As a film, and then it's also like a war film with conflict in it too.
It makes me think of when we played that Compass Games Napoleonics game. What was that game called that we played with Mike and the guys in St. Louis?
Oh, yeah.
And you were running. You were running camels.
Napoleon's Imperium.
There you go.
And
you were running camels all over Europe.
And I had I had camels like in Austria and Germany.
It was awesome.
Prussia.
I remember thinking, that's awesome. But I immediately thought of Lawrence of Arabia, right?
I think that joke was made at the table.
I think it was, no doubt. But anyway, yeah,
love that film.
I like those kind of, once again, great character in history, interesting situation.
It's almost more of a biopic than a war film.
Sure, but definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I can think of some one-liners from it that I've seen. Isn't that featured in Prometheus?
Yes.
Isn't David watching that?
Yes.
As he's like, Mr. Potter, and he's combing his blonde hair.
And I think he even has the bit where he's pinches the match. I don't know if he does that.
Anyway, yeah. So, very good. Okay, the next one that I wanted to share is a modern movie, and I asked this question: is it okay to do modern ones? And you're like, absolutely.
Yes.
The Thin Red Line.
Not even that modern.
Well, 1998.
More modern. That's
24
That's
years
24
ago.
years ago,
That's
Grant.
ridiculous.
That's 24 years ago.
I was 25 years old
I
when
was
that movie
10.
came out. I have watched that movie dozens of times. It's one of those slow burn movies though, right? It's got a lot of weirdness. It's got Jim Caviezel's character walking half naked with the Papua New Guinea guys.
It's very cerebral.
Yeah.
For sure.
But then it's got some of the greatest combat. Oh, it's just phenomenal. I love when Nick Nolte's screaming at Styles! Styles! I just...
When they're on the side of that hill.
Yeah, he's, get up there, Styles! He's like, no, sir,
like,
I'm not going.
My gosh.
And I'm just like, what a great movie. Also, every famous actor is John Travolta, Nick Nolte, Jim Caviezel, Sean Penn. Isn't he in there?
I think he is, yeah.
I mean, it's a great movie. I watch it and it's very sad, right? Because at the end, Jim Caviezel's character, didn't he get killed? I swear he gets killed at the very end.
Probably.
But it's just very sad. To me, it's typical of that war. It was just different.
Well, yeah, and that's
just different.
I would say that's almost an anti-war film.
I would agree.
But
I would
it
agree.
was such a... I can't help but watch and be enthralled by that film.
No doubt.
The soundtrack to it is kind of out of this world.
Yep.
The way that it's shot, it's both beautiful and also terrifying. Really good.
I find it absolutely fascinating when they're walking into the jungle. I'm just like, how terrified were those 18 and 19-year-old boys? Here they are walking next to this river with, one of the areas you can see crocodiles in it. And it's like, this is insane. Some of these guys were from Iowa and they didn't know what a snake was.
No.
Anyway, just to me, very touching and just hits me home every time I watch it. Love it.
So,
The Thin Red Line.
Yeah, really good. A movie that I love, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. We talked about that. Just a classic.
Pretty much a classic at this point as well.
Also an anti-worm film, I believe.
But famously so. But it's such a, it's like two movies in one.
Well, the first hour is the boot camp. It really has nothing to do, but it has everything to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
And then the last hour is Vietnam and them in Hue and going building to building and getting snipered up and just phenomenal.
Yeah, there are so many classic parts of that film.
Oh, no doubt.
That are in the zeitgeist. And I'm pretty sure the guy who played...
Matthew Modine, Joker?
No. The drill sergeant. I think he just passed away recently.
R. Lee Ermey? Yeah,
Yes.
He did.
Which was
maybe a year ago.
But I watched that film. He and his character is the most quotable thing that I've ever heard in my life. And from what I understand,
that's the way it is.
He's also very tame compared to real drill sergeants in the Marines, which you're that's terrifying in a way.
Well, the old saying is they break them down so they can build them back up.
Yeah, and that's, there's all sorts of theses about that film, about the dehumanizing effects of all that stuff, and I think that's something that Kubrick's trying to put in there.
I had a cousin that went to Parris Island, South Carolina, and I'm going to tell you that's exactly what it was for him.
And, obviously... lots of people react differently, but as a film, that film is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so well made, and parts of it are tragic and parts of it are awesome. Yeah. And then even that final scene where Hui's on fire and they're all just they're all spread out but marching and they're singing the Mickey Mouse song and you're just that's wild.
Well, and just before that, when they kill the Vietnamese sniper, it's sad, right? That's from her perspective, she's a VC freedom fighter trying to fight for her freedom to keep out the United States and imperial blah blah blah, and it's just she dies for that cause alone, and I can't remember what she's saying, fuck wah, or something. I can't remember what it was water? Was she asking for water? But it's just sad. It's just sad.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
There's a lot in that film to take in,
Yeah.
but as a film, it's great.
There's some great one-liners in that too.
I mean,
Matthew Modine in that, he's Joker.
yes.
He is so phenomenal in that movie.
He's hilarious.
I love that guy. But such a good movie.
All the characters in that, like,
They're all good.
you get like an hour with them in boot camp, and by the end of it, you know them all.
Yeah.
And that is a credit to great writing and great filmmaking.
It's a great movie. I would agree. Another movie along those same lines made a little bit before that, 1986 Platoon.
Incredible.
I will watch Platoon to this day, and I know I've heard from a lot of Vietnam vets that, it's realistic, but it's a little over the top. But I don't care. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, or like, that's not representative of what everyone experienced.
But
sure,
it's representative of what some
people may have
experience.
done.
To me, there's two iconic scenes in that whole movie. One is the VC ambush at the very beginning, where they're sleeping and he's looking out, and you don't see the movement, but then you see the movement, and it's like the whole VC squad comes walking.
And it's the whole, and it's like, oh.
It's just amazing. And he just tries to hold his breath, and he tries to almost wish it away. That is so iconic to me. The other part that I love about that movie, Tom Berenger's character is a complete ass. But I love that part when they're in the Ashaw Valley and they're walking along, and he's like, bunker. Do you remember that part? The lead guy's like, I don't see a bunker. And sure enough, he goes right up to a bunker, and it's like right there. And it's just, because I knew a guy, and he told me, he goes, Grant, it was the scariest thing I ever did. Walking over there, he's like, I had no clue, and they put me on point. And he's like, he was just praying that he didn't get killed. Yeah. He was like, I got to do this for an hour and a half, and then I get to go to the back of the line. And he's like, I'm going to get killed one time. And I mean, that's what that guy had no idea what he was doing, but he was out at point.
Yeah.
So anyway, I love Platoon. I will watch it.
Very, very good movie.
Anytime, today, love it.
Another film, very different, tonally speaking, Last of the Mohicans.
Oh.
French and Indian War movie.
Awesome.
Beautiful looking film. And I don't know if that's a theme. I like my films to look good.
Well, also the soundtrack on that one is phenomenal.
Oh, stunning.
Yeah.
And, the cast of actors are great. And it's a period piece about a period, there's Civil War films and American Revolutionary War films. Not a ton of French and Indian War movies. I think a lot of people just think that it's American Revolutionary War.
Sure,
I think they
not sure they
the plebs
the
kind of hand wave it, and you're like, it's different.
Yeah.
But the fighting, in the valleys and the canoeing and the little very small fort that's there next to a lake, the set pieces and the scenery that's being fought over is just gorgeous, and the film is way better than the book.
Yeah.
The book is very confused and doesn't quite know what it's doing, and the guy uses 5 names for the same thing.
Right.
He's like, the English name, the French
name,
or this particular tribe's name, and then this colloquialism for it, and you're like, oh,
I've actually read that
what's
book
going
too, and
on?
I agree with you.
But you watch the film, and you're like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And having read the book and you watch the film, you're like, oh yeah, that's what that was in the book. I wasn't really sure what's going on.
This has nothing to do with the movie, but Madeline Stowe was a crush of mine. When I saw that movie in I want to say it came out in 1991.
Yeah, it was early 90s.
I thought Madeline Stowe was it. I loved her, and she was Cora, the daughter of not Webb. Anyway, the daughter of the English commander. But my favorite part in that movie, there's a couple favorite parts, but I love when Chingachgook at the end, after Nakalan gets killed, and they throw him over the side, and then Alice jumps after him, which is very dramatic. Chingachgook going to town on those dudes with that tomahawk
them,
club, phenomenal. And then he says, I am Chingachgook, last of the Mohicans, and you're just like, it's so sad.
I watched that film when I was very young, and I didn't really was whatever, kind of through it. I don't really remember it, but I do remember watching that part when they're on that little mountain cliff, and the going over the cliff. I remember being like, oh, when I was like, you know, a young teenager.
Yeah.
Be like, that's awful. It's gonna make me look sick of like someone voluntarily doing that. You're like,
Well, and
oh my gosh.
Magua in that movie is just so good.
Oh my gosh.
That,
I mean,
that actor
just
did
so good.
the Potawatomi raid leader in Dances with Wolves and was also fantastic. He's the one that shot the dude in the stomach. Can't remember his name, but disgusting guy. Great movie. I agree with you.
Very,
fantastic.
very
And not a World War II movie. So
No,
it's kind of cool to see some different,
Yeah.
you know. You're going to kill me because we had this conversation. The new version of Midway, 2019. I'm going to be honest, love that movie. I will watch that damn thing all day long because it's awesome. I need to turn my brain off a little bit because it's a little ridiculous, but I don't care. Seeing those Dauntlesses dive bombing those Japanese aircraft was awesome.
Yeah, it's not. So I watched that when it first came out, and I was very happy that it was not just the Battle of Midway.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to watch a 3-hour movie, I was like, what are they going to do with this?
Yeah.
But you had, like, I think it had all this other stuff in it, even Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, it showed parts of Pearl
so
Harbor.
You're like, I was really happy that we got a lot of different kind of battles in it. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. But, like, man, everything in between those battles, you're like, oh my gosh, this is some of the worst cartoonish acting from people who...
Some of the acting was very bad.
Was, like, just so, like...
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. But I like the Patrick, I can't think of his name. He was like the attaché that was in Japan at the beginning. I can't think. I love that guy.
No, yeah, I know.
He was like
he's
the
like
main...
he's in all the horror films.
I just love him.
Yes,
every time he's in a movie, he's in...
He's like the only...
Conjuring.
The only person who's like a good actor.
He's just so good. I loved everything he said. And then, I'm telling you, those dive bombing runs on those couple was phenomenal.
The action sequences are incredible.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to concede that.
Some of the other stuff was
cheesy. If I could cut out all the stuff in between those, we have an absolute banger.
It's kind of like Pearl Harbor. There's about 15 minutes of that movie that I really like.
Yeah.
The rest of it's just crap.
But then you sit through another 2.5 hours in the cinema being like,
although I don't mind looking at Kate Beckinsale. You know, I could watch her all day.
Yeah, but go watch Underworld.
Well, that's true. But anyway, I really like that Midway 2019. I will still watch it today, and I'm looking forward to, in November, they'll have some of these movies on AMC, and I'll get to watch some of them, because some of these I don't have.
Yeah.
I can get them on, whatever, Netflix and other... But anyway, Midway 2019. Come at me, bro.
Book it. So, if we're talking about modern films, a film that I really enjoyed was Greyhound with Tom Hanks.
See, I haven't seen that one. Well, we don't have Apple TV. So.
Yeah. We had it for like a month and then canceled it as soon as I'd watched that. It's more like, and again,
that's on the North Atlantic, the convoys, right?
He's
a destroyer.
He's a destroyer captain and guarding convoys against wolf packs. Mm-hmm. And there are a couple really dumb parts about it, but like, generally speaking, that film is really good.
Yeah.
Very tense. And the reality is whilst we could call it a war movie, it is more like a character study on being a good captain.
Okay.
Like, Hanks is
he Captain Phillips? Does he ever say, I'm Captain Phillips?
No, he says, I'm Sully Sullenberg. Like, he's so good in that.
Got it. I would love to see it.
It's neat. It's really good.
Yeah.
There's like a couple stupid dumb parts, but we all know what those are.
Yeah.
But like, and I also like that it was something fresh. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a good modern war film about those, and it looked great. Yeah. Everything was grey, the sky was grey, the ocean was grey, the boats were grey, and you're like, that looks miserable.
So Greg Smith is doing Atlantic Sentinels, which is about that very thing. Convoy escort in the North Atlantic.
And it looks cool.
Yeah, pretty interesting. I definitely want to see that one. Yes. I need to figure out how to get them 1 month subscription and then
they got hosed releasing that on Apple Plus, because ain't no one got that.
I just don't know why they do that, because some of those I'm just never going to get.
Yeah.
I've already got enough. I've got Netflix, Prime,
sell it to IFC
Disney.
so everyone can watch it on cable.
Yeah, I can't. Anyway, I've got three more.
Sure.
I'm going to talk about Das Boot.
Yes. Extremely good film.
I have watched that thing so many times.
That's an epic.
It is amazing. My favorite part of that movie is at the end, right? They've come into the sub pens. They're docking after a harrowing adventure, and they all get shot up. And it's horrible. But that movie is phenomenal.
Incredible film.
I own that on Blu-ray as well, and I will watch that any day. And I love to hear the German and see the subtitles. I have to hear it to get immersed and feel it.
Don't get a dubbed version.
Yeah.
You're doing yourself a disservice.
It's such a good movie. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's amazing. U571 is better than it, but I'm not going to include that on my list. Matthew McConaughey is underrated.
Couple German films. Cross of Iron.
I haven't seen that one.
Cross of Iron
is it on Netflix?
No. It's like it's some old German film. Cross of Iron's really good East Front film. Like, I don't even know. Genuinely, I have no idea where you watch that.
Okay.
I downloaded it illegally 10 years ago and still have that version. I think my brother had it on DVD when we were kids.
Okay.
Really good.
Cross of Iron, huh?
Cross of Iron's excellent. And there's a part at the end where they're in a factory and the T-34s come smashing through. And, oh my gosh.
So East Front?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other one is the German Stalingrad. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. That is the Stalingrad film.
I don't know that I've seen that one either.
Oh, you would love it.
Okay.
It is incredible. If you've seen Stalingrad, the old German version from the 90s, oh my gosh, put the comments below.
I'll have to find that, see if I can find
so
that. What's it called?
It's
Stalingrad?
it's Stalingrad, yeah.
But it's the German version.
Yeah, it's German, and it's German soldiers in Stalingrad, and it's the Rattenkrieg.
Okay.
I mean, they're in the sewers, they're room to room fighting against Russians, and then they get cut off, and it's them. They go to the airport to get on the last Junkers 52 that's flying out, and there are people hanging off the wings, falling off and dying, and then spoiler alert, they'll get captured and die. But it's 6th Army surrenders, and it's marched off into the waste of Siberia, and they'll die on the way there. It's awful. I mean, it is a incredible film,
and it's subtitles with German speaking.
You could. Yeah,
nah, I would never want.
I've watched
I don't
it
mind
dubbed
reading.
as well, and I don't care one way or the other. But it's
got it.
So
I'll have to look for that one. Some of these are just hard to find.
Yes, those ones are pretty obscure.
Well, I've got two more, and these I absolutely love. So the first one, The Alamo, not the original 1960s version, but the 2004 version. So this is Billy Bob Thornton, Patrick, the guy. Dang it!
I've not watched this.
I can't believe you haven't watched it.
I've seen stills of it, but I've never watched it.
It is such a good movie. It is so good, and because it tells the desperate story of what they were doing so well. And they all know they're going to die. There's 100 of them. And Santa Ana's 3,000 or 4,000 out there. And it's just, but they had bravery, they had courage. And the best part of the movie, Billy Bob Thornton as Daniel Boone? Is it Daniel Boone or Davy Crockett?
Either one.
I'm an American, I don't even know. Anyway, call me out in the comments.
Johnny Appleseed.
But he gets his violin out.
Yes,
because they're playing the drums to kind of frighten them, and he gets up on the parapet and he just plays this beautiful melodic violin solo, and everybody just watches, and it's just phenomenal. I mean, you can feel it. That was a very inspired movie, I thought. So good as well. I mean, those Mexican troops coming in, and they had guys that had bardaches and were cutting the walls. It's just fantastic. The final one that I will bring up, and I asked you if it was okay to bring it up.
You don't need my permission.
But I know this movie takes a lot of heat, but I don't give a damn. Fury from 2014. Love that movie. I know it's cheesy. I know it's got a lot of really funky parts.
It's not cheesy up until the last 15 minutes. That's the thing. It's really, really good up until then.
I actually liked the ending, but it was over the top. I would agree with you. But it was so good. The whole thing was so good when they find the Panzer and they fight it, the 3 tanks, and the other 2 tanks get killed, right? And when the Panzerfaust is shot by the little kids in the woods, and kills the tank. I mean, that kind of stuff is just so terrible.
Best part of that film for me is the combined arms part, where there's
it's phenomenal.
The Sherman's advancing and there's the infantry company behind them.
With the Pack 40 and the wood line.
Pack 40s and trenches.
And the little slit trenches.
And just this, like the sounds
so
and the visuals of that are like, whew.
Yep, I will watch. That's another movie I think I would watch at any time. And I frankly love it. I love Brad Pitt. I love that he speaks German, and I think he speaks pretty damn good German. Passable, right?
Yeah, enough. It's fine.
I just like it. There's some parts that I really love about it too, like the SS dude with the broken wing that they gunned down. Oh, that's just so good. Because you're just like, you son of a bitch. You know. Anyway, those are the ones that now I could think of dozens of others. There's been many others that I've watched.
There's a million war films.
Gettysburg is one that I love. Jeff Bridges as Chamberlain is just amazing.
Even like Zulu.
I love that movie. Yep, absolutely.
Like, there's so many great war films. So put your best war films
We could
down.
go on and on.
We could talk about war films forever. But yeah, let us know what war films that you like and why. Maybe what you like about some of the ones we've talked about, or other new ones that we may not have even heard of. Obviously, there's like a billion, right?
Yeah.
We could do a whole thing about like the TV shows. Right?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Because there's like
Memphis Belle was another one I love. I love Memphis Belle.
Who doesn't?
Because I love
Belle?
the air war.
I love Memphis Belle.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that film. But like
So good.
the things like Band of Brothers and the Pacific.
Oh yeah.
We didn't even talk about any like modern Iraq movies.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Kill. What's that one? Kill. What's that one? Kill.
Generation Kill.
There you go.
That's a TV
love
show.
That movie or show.
If you've never watched Generation Kill, go watch it.
It's
Do yourself
so
a favor.
good. It's on Prime, I think.
Yeah, it is. Even like The Hurt Locker. Like,
I love that movie.
Love that film.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of really good stuff out there. So let us know what you think.
Yep.
And maybe we'll revisit this at some point later because there's infinite number of other films.
I thought this was a good discussion topic. I know it's not specifically war game related, but we did get some war game discussion in there.
There's a war game about every single thing that we've talked
Absolutely,
about.
no doubt.
Maybe we should have brought those out.
Yeah, maybe.
This video would be 3 hours if that was the case.
Yeah.
So appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.
And I'm Grant.